Hi everybody, welcome back to ERTV. Today I am with Josh.
Josh, DWH, straight from the Bronx.
Yeah, Josh, how you feeling?
I'm great, how you doing?
It's 12 a.m. in Miami.
It's a little late, but we're still getting this working.
Right, so I mean you do have a track called 7 a.m. in Miami.
Yes.
Was that definitely inspired when you here in Miami and stuff?
7 a.m. It was actually for Rolling Loud. I went out to Rolling Loud last year, and I came out here by myself for about maybe like a week. I linked up with one of the photographers I work with, and we went to Rolling Loud, and I seen Kendrick, Lil Wayne, I seen Mac Miller, like all my top artists that I mess with. And I was just on my inspiration was through the roof. So I just came home, just wrote that song, banged it out.
Yeah, dope. I like the visual. And before I get into any of the deeper questions, I wanted to, if you could tell us a little bit more about growing up in the Bronx and really who you are and what made you love music and how you started it.
Well, basically, I was always around music growing up because my mother, she always had like cassette tapes and all that, and then my grandfather, he had a collected records from back in the day, like, so music was always in my family, and basically what made me got to do music was me coming out of high school. I seen a lot of cats chasing music, but they wasn't really going full throttle. So I mean, I never I didn't have aspirations to go to college just yet, so I figured I think I could do this music thing, and I just took it from there. From high school, it started off as little lines in the notebook, and then it just progressed. I was actually trying to do vlogs, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't even jumping right into the whole rapping thing. I kind of eased my way in. I wrote little Facebook poems and shit like that.
Got you.
So that's how that started.
And so when was the first time you got into a studio and actually recorded something, and what was that like?
First time I got in the studio, it was I think it was it was definitely 2012. I started out, everybody starts out in their homie studio or whatever, started in the basement studio with little water leaks on the floor and shit like that. But yeah, that was my first time in the studio, and then I got into an actual legit studio, and not too long after that, because the whole experience was shit. So I had to get the real experience. So then at the time when I first started, I had a manager that was booking my studio time, but after a while, we just I guess you could say we fell out, and I just started going to the same studio. Studio was right down the block from me. It was only a 3-minute walk, so I just ended up starting going consistently and taking myself more serious.
That's what's up. Now your music plus even your Instagram, I will say you motivate me so much, and you're the power of words that you just have, and it's so dope to see, because even we're all scrolling on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're seeing these fake lives, but it's good to have that refresher, oh yeah, he's right. He's you're talking about being depressed or very unmotivated some days, and then even I know I saw one of your posts you're y'all don't see what goes behind the scenes. Sometimes I'm broke. I put everything into it. Talk about how you became so motivated in your brand, Dreamwork Hustle. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, basically, with the whole thing with that is just, a lot of people just see the accolades that, people accomplish. They don't see the long nights behind it. They don't see how much money is invested. And, a lot of that stuff just gets bypassed and thrown under the carpet. So I just like to acknowledge, every part of the process along the way, from the highs to the lows, because through it all, I work through it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm mad, I could write a song. If I'm happy, I could write a song. So it's just about just knowing what you want, besides what you need. You know what I'm saying? People could wake up and they want to go do something, but they're gonna procrastinate 9 times out of 10 because it's them stopping and it's no one else. It's everyone makes excuses these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you gotta differentiate yourself and what you want and how you're gonna get it.
Got you.
A lot of people, they out here begging for help, they complaining for support, but they're not even giving nobody content. I just had to realize what I wanted within myself, and everything is in front of you. You just gotta put yourself in that position. I listen to a lot of like what you consume, like not just what you eat and shit like that, like the people you hang with and the shit you read, the social media posts you consume, like everything is like food for you. Like, so if you digesting all that bad shit, you just gonna do bad shit. But if you on the positive intake, then you just gonna keep uplifting yourself and those around you. So it's just all about knowing what I wanted, and I just had to boss up and just get my own. Like,
so was it what point in your life made you that way? Because you don't come across people like you often. Like you said, there's a lot of people who have 1,000,001 excuses about why they don't want to do something. But, you know, it's so dope to see you, like, you know, just going out there doing it. And I feel like I tell people the same way. Like, you know, people doubt me and what I do, whatever. But nah, that's why I really relate to you and your music. And for me, it was like a struggle growing up. I have like a long story. What was it like for you?
Well, with me, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? My mom, I'm not gonna say she raised me completely by herself, but you know what I'm saying, my father was incarcerated for a majority of my life since I was about 5, in and out. And you know what I'm saying, I always kept that relationship with him, and I watched a lot of movies when I was younger, so I learned about emotions and how to cope with them. Like, I see people are over exaggerative, and then some people don't give a fuck. It's just all about, you know, training your mind. So when I was younger, I dealt with a lot of stuff, like from my dad being locked up to, you know what I'm saying, my mom losing her job, from this to that, then my grandmother. It's just, I dealt with a lot of pain, so it's just like I'm accustomed to a lot of, you know, nothing really comes as a surprise to me, because it's just like, you have to deal with it. Life is 90% what happens, and no, it's 10% what happens and 90% how you react to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all about that. So when I was, you know, before I started this whole music thing, it was just, you know, I dealt with a lot of pain. You know what I'm saying? I lost my brother. He got he was murdered. I believe it was 2010, and I lost my grandmother like 2 years before that, and then my cousin. You know what I'm saying? It's just
back to back. So
you know what I'm saying? I just had to cope with it and just accept it and use it as motivation, because I know they rooting for me. You know what I'm saying? 100%. People 6 feet deep, they want to see me like, you know, 50 stories high. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just all about perspective and training your mind. So ever since I was younger, I just had to keep it going. Everybody quitting is easy. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody want to put in the work no more. Like, I do a lot of this shit myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I got a team that helps me out with. I can count on my hands the amount of people that I can count on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even go to the toes neither. My hands, 10. That's it, like 10 or less. But you know what I'm saying? It's just all about efficiency and the team that you have behind you. Like, so it's all about perspective. It's about what you want and how you gonna get it.
Nice. And earlier you mentioned like Lil Wayne, Kendrick. Who are your top 5 of all time artists?
Top 5 of all time. Gonna go with them right there. That's 3. Mac, Lil Wayne, and Kendrick. That's 3.
Mac Miller?
I would put Mac. I would put Mac, because he's not only like, I say Mac because I was there when Mac Miller was Easy Mac, when he was like my age grinding, when he had like the curly hair and the fucking barely no tattoos and shit. Like, I was there watching him grind. So like, I would go from high school. Like, I used to resell. I'm all about, you know what I'm saying? I was about hip hop since before I was like rapping. Like, I used to go to shows. I used to be at almost every show. I used to fucking hold up the camera like as a fan. Like, I was a fan first. So I had traveled a couple times. Like, Mac Miller, he was like maybe 17 or 18. He had a show. He had shows in Poughkeepsie. I'm like fucking. Well, I was like 16 going up to Poughkeepsie to go see Mac Miller. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that inspiration. So I've seen him grow, and it's just like to see someone blossom like such, like as a person. Like, not even like, you listen to the music. I don't know if you listen to like a lot of Mac Miller, but like a lot of his stuff is real introspective. You know
I do listen to some. I wouldn't say like heavy, but I like Mac. I think he's very I would say even slept on. Like, people don't really give him that credit, I feel like, that he deserves. And
I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, and he produces. It's just like, it's just different when you see someone go from here to all the way up here, and you actually know, you was not there with them every step of the way, but you were supporting them. You know what I'm saying? So it's humbling and it's inspirational for me. So that's why I put him in there. But so Mac, Kendrick, Lil Wayne. I'm gonna put Lloyd Banks in there because he's a punchline king, lyricism always. And the 5th, shit, I might have to put Eminem in there, man. Either Eminem between M, and I'm gonna put between M and Biggie. I would put Tupac in there too, but I would. He would be 6. He's like my 6th man.
Okay, got you.
I would put him as the 6th, but that's my top 5. So I'll go Kendrick, Lloyd Banks, Lil Wayne, Mac, and we'll put Eminem in there. Shout out to Biggie and Tupac though.